Doctor warns, if you're 60, 70, or 80 and not having sex, I am sorry to inform you. A whisper of truth you need to hear. Have you ever wondered if a part of your life you thought was over could still hold the key to your vitality? If you're 65, 75, or even 85, and intimacy has faded from your days, I'm here to share a truth that might just change everything. This isn't about chasing youth or fleeting pleasures. It's about rediscovering the spark that keeps your heart beating, your mind sharp, and your soul alive. I'm Dr. James, a physician who spent over 3 decades helping people like you reclaim their health and joy in their later years. And today, I'm going to pull back the curtain on something too many doctors overlook: the profound, life-changing power of intimacy after 65. What if I told you that letting go of closeness could be silently dimming the light inside you? That's not a question to scare you. It's an invitation to awaken. In this journey, we'll explore 4 hidden consequences of stepping away from intimacy, backed by science and stories from real people who've walked this path. But more than that, I'll show you how it's never too late to reignite that spark, to feel desired, and to live with purpose. So, grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's dive into a conversation that might just be the most important one you've had in years. And if this resonates with you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel and tap the bell icon. You won't want to miss the life-changing insights we share every week. What's the one thing you've stopped believing you deserve as you've aged? Type 1 in the comments if this message speaks to your heart, or 0 if you're not sure yet. I'd love to know how I can support your journey. Part 1. The silent thief in your brain. Hook. Could the absence of touch be dimming your mind's brilliance? Imagine waking up one day and realizing your memories aren't as sharp as they used to be. Names slip through your fingers like sand, and the world feels just a little hazier. You might chalk it up to just getting older, but what if there's something deeper at play? For many in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, the slow fade of intimacy, whether it's a lover's touch or the warmth of a close embrace, could be quietly stealing the vitality from your brain. The science of connection. Let me introduce you to George, a 72-year-old retired math teacher with a quick wit and a love for crossword puzzles. When he came to my office, his eyes were clouded with worry. "Dr. James," he said, "I'm forgetting things. I don't feel like myself anymore." At first, I ran the usual tests, blood work, scans, the works. Everything came back normal. No dimensce, no abiesidnis. But in a quiet moment, George shared something that stopped me in my tracks. Since his wife passed 5 years ago, he hadn't felt the warmth of another person's touch. Not a hug, not a handheld, not a single moment of closeness. Here's what science tells us, and what I've seen in my 30 years of practice. Intimacy isn't just about the heart, it's a lifeline for your brain. When you engage in sexual activity, or even simple affectionate touch, blood surges to the areas of your brain tied to memory, emotion, and learning. Chemicals like dopamine, the feel-good hormone, flood your system, lifting your mood. Oxytocin, often called the love hormone, weaves a web of calm and connection, while endorphins act like nature's stress reliever, shielding your brain from the wear and tear of aging. Without these moments of closeness, your brain misses out on this natural boost. Studies, like one from the Journal of Gerontology in 2018, show that older adults who maintain regular intimacy, whether through sex or affectionate touch, have a lower risk of cognitive decline. Another study from the University of Chicago found that people over 65 who reported frequent physical closeness scored higher on memory tests than those who didn't. It's not about chasing passion like a 20-year-old. It's about keeping your mind engaged, alert, and alive. A story of rediscovery. Let me tell you about Clara, a 68-year-old widow who thought her days of feeling vibrant were behind her. She came to me complaining of foggy thinking and a nagging sense of disconnection. "I feel like I'm fading," she admitted. After some gentle prodding, she shared that she hadn't felt close to anyone since her husband's passing a decade ago. Together, we crafted a plan, not to find a new partner, but to reconnect with herself. She joined a dance class, where the simple act of holding hands with a partner during a waltz brought tears to her eyes. Over months, she noticed her memory sharpening, her laughter returning, and a new spring in her step. Clara's story isn't unique. It's a reminder that even small moments of connection can rekindle your brain's fire. Why it matters. When intimacy fades, it's not just your memories at stake. The absence of touch can lead to social withdrawal, a loss of curiosity, and even a dip in motivation to care for yourself. Neurologically, your brain craves the stimulation that comes from closeness. Without it, the emotional circuits that keep you engaged with life begin to dim, raising the risk of depression and even early dementia. But here's the hope. You can reverse this trend. A hug, a shared laugh, or even rediscovering your own body's capacity for joy can light up those neural pathways again. What's one small moment of connection you could invite into your life today? Let's keep this conversation going. Share your thoughts in the comments. Part 2. Your body's silent cry for closeness. Hook. What if your body is begging for something you've dismissed as over? Your heart beats a little slower these days, doesn't it? Maybe you've noticed you're not as strong as you once were, or that your energy fades by midday. You might think it's just age creeping in, but what if your body is whispering a different story? The absence of intimacy, physical, emotional, or both, could be draining the vitality from your very core. The physical toll. Meet Linda and Carl, a couple in their late 60s who'd been married for nearly 4 decades. When they sat across from me in my office, their love for each other was palpable, but so was a quiet sadness. We just assumed that part of our life was done, Linda said, her voice soft with resignation. Carl nodded, admitting he felt sluggish, heavier, and older than my years. Their physical connection had faded, not out of anger, but out of habit, assumption, and the slow creep of routine. Here's what happens when intimacy slips away. Your body notices. Sexual activity, even gentle touch, is a form of exercise that keeps your cardiovascular system humming. A 2016 study in the New England Journal of Medicine found that older adults who maintained regular physical intimacy had better blood vessel health and lower rates of heart disease. Why? Because arousal and touch increase blood flow, delivering oxygen to your heart, brain, and muscles. Without it, your circulation slows, your blood vessels stiffen, and your body's natural rhythm falters. But it's not just about your heart. Hormones play a starring role here. For men, sexual activity helps maintain testosterone levels, which are crucial for energy, muscle mass, and mood stability. A 2019 study from the Journal of Sexual Medicine showed that men over 60 who remained sexually active had higher testosterone levels and lower rates of depression. For women, intimacy boosts estrogen and oxytocin, which protect against osteoporosis, joint pain, and emotional volatility. When these hormones dip, you might notice aches, fatigue, or a sense of disconnection from your own body. A couple's journey back. Let me share the story of Helen and Tom, both 71, who came to me feeling like roommates, not lovers. They hadn't been intimate in years, and both were struggling. Helen with joint pain and low energy, Tom with weight gain and irritability. We started small. I encouraged them to hold hands during their evening walks, to share a lingering hug each morning. Over time, they rediscovered small moments of closeness, a kiss, a shared laugh, a gentle touch. Within 6 months, Helen reported less pain and more mobility, while Tom felt stronger and more like himself. Their intimacy wasn't about grand passion. It was about presence, and their bodies responded. Beyond the bedroom. Here's the beauty. You don't need to aim for acrobatic romance to reap these benefits. A warm embrace, a hand on your partner's shoulder, or even a solo moment of self-care can awaken your body's natural vitality. Massage therapy, for example, has been shown to boost oxytocin and improve circulation, as noted in a 2020 study from the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine. Even dancing, whether with a partner or alone, can get your blood flowing and your hormones dancing, too. When was the last time you felt truly alive in your body? Share your story below, and let's inspire each other to keep moving forward. Part 3. The Heart's Quiet Ache. Hook. Is there a loneliness in your heart you've never named? There's a silence that settles between two people who've loved each other for decades. It's not loud or angry. It's heavy, like a fog that muffles the joy you once shared. If you're 65 or older, you might know this feeling, the ache of being near someone you love, yet feeling unseen, untouched, undesired. And if you're single, that ache might whisper that you're no longer worthy of closeness. But let me tell you something. That whisper is a lie. The emotional cost. Margaret, 74, sat in my office with tears in her eyes. Her husband had survived cancer, but the treatments had left him distant, and their intimacy had vanished. I don't want to pressure him, she said, but I miss being his partner, not just his caregiver. Her words carried a weight I've heard too often, a longing to feel wanted, to feel whole. When intimacy fades, it's not just physical. It's a slow unraveling of connection, confidence, and identity. For couples, this distance can breed resentment or shame. One partner might assume the other has lost interest. The other might feel guilt or fear. They stop reaching out, stop trying, and the silence grows. A 2021 study from the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry found that older couples who maintained physical and emotional closeness reported lower rates of depression and higher relationship satisfaction. But when intimacy fades, loneliness creeps in. Not just being alone, but feeling unseen in the presence of someone who once knew you best. For those who are single or widowed, the loss is just as profound. Without physical or emotional closeness, you might start to believe you're no longer desirable, that your time for love has passed. But your heart doesn't agree. It still craves connection, touch, the simple joy of being seen. When that craving goes unmet, it can lead to withdrawal, anxiety, or a quiet erosion of self-worth. A widow's new chapter. Let me tell you about Ruth, a 77-year-old widow who thought her days of feeling desirable were over. She joined a book club at my suggestion, not expecting much. But one evening, a gentleman in the group complimented her insight and offered to walk her home. That small gesture, a moment of being seen, sparked something in Ruth. She started dressing up for the meetings, laughing more, and even flirting a little. "I feel like I'm waking up," she told me, her eyes bright with a joy she hadn't felt in years. Ruth's story is a testament to the power of connection, no matter how small it seems. Rebuilding the bridge. The beauty of intimacy is that it doesn't require perfection. A shared glance, a kind word, a moment of vulnerability. These are the threads that weave you back together. For singles, it might mean rediscovering your own worth through self-care, hobbies, or new friendships. For couples, it's about daring to say, "I miss us." The first step is always the hardest, but it's also the most liberating. What's one thing you miss about feeling close to someone? Let's start a conversation in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else to take that first step. Part 4. The hidden threat to your years. Hook. Could a lack of closeness be stealing years from your life? You've heard the saying, you're only as old as you feel. But what if feeling disconnected is making you older than you are? Beyond your brain, your body, and your heart, there's a deeper consequence to losing intimacy. It might be shortening the time you have left. This isn't about fear. It's about understanding the power you hold to live longer, fuller, and more joyfully. The science of longevity. Robert, an 81-year-old patient, was a walking testament to this truth. He walked into my office with a spring in his step and a twinkle in his eye. "What's your secret?" I asked. He grinned and said, "I flirt with my wife every morning. We hold each other every night." Their connection, physical, emotional, constant, kept Robert vibrant in a way that defied his age. Science backs him up. A landmark study from the British Medical Journal in 2017 found that older adults who maintained regular intimacy, whether through sex, touch, or affection, had lower mortality rates. Why? Because closeness does more than feel good. It reduces inflammation, lowers blood pressure, and strengthens your immune system. Oxytocin, released during touch, acts like a shield against stress, while endorphins improve sleep and mood. A 2020 study from the Journal of Aging and Health found that older adults who reported frequent physical affection slept better, had stronger immunity, and were less likely to develop chronic illnesses. When intimacy fades, the opposite happens. Stress hormones like cortisol stay elevated, weakening your body's defenses. Sleep becomes shallow, anxiety creeps in, and you might feel less motivated to move or connect with others. These changes aren't just emotional, they're measurable, and they add up. Over time, they increase your risk of heart disease, depression, and even premature death. A couple's second chance. Take Joan and Ed, both 73, who came to me feeling stuck. Their intimacy had vanished after Ed's heart surgery, and both were struggling with low energy and frequent illnesses. I encouraged them to start small, a nightly ritual of sharing one thing they loved about each other, followed by a hug. Over time, those hugs turned into kisses, then moments of closeness. A year later, Joan's blood pressure was down, and Ed was back to gardening, a passion he'd abandoned. Their story isn't about miracles. It's about the quiet power of connection to heal. The choice is yours. You don't need to be in a relationship to benefit. Solo activities like self-massage, warm baths, or even petting a dog can boost oxytocin and lower stress.